All right. I'm going to call our regular meeting to order and say good evening to all who are present. Thank you. The hour of 7 o'clock having passed, we'll call the meeting to order. This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene YouTube channel and Spectrum Channel 1302. The video is also streamed on the city's website and is posted by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. If you would like to receive an electronic City Council packet to reference while viewing future broadcasts, please contact the City Clerk's office during business hours or go to the city's website and subscribe to the city meetings email list. The agenda is also accessible from any mobile device, and would the clerk please call the roll of our regular meeting?
Kaden Bosley.
Here.
Laura E. Tobin.
Here.
Michael J. Remy.
Here.
Randy L. Filio. Robert C. Williams.
Here.
Edward J. Haas.
Here.
Philip M. Jones.
Present.
Andrew M. Addison.
Here.
And Chris C. Roberts.
Here.
Jacob R. Favelis.
Here.
Brian J. Lake. Catherine I. Workman.
Here.
Bettina H. Hadborn.
Here.
Thomas F. Powers.
Here.
Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Here.
Okay, we are 13 present. Councilor Greenwald, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Unprepared. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'd like to recognize Councilor Greenwald for a motion.
to adopt the minutes. Thank you.
Sec-
I move to adopt.
Go ahead.
What?
Move to adopt. I was just.
You're good.
You're fine, you're fine.
I move
Keep-
to. You people
He's
make
done
me
this, he's done this
crazy.
100 times.
Move to adopt the minutes of the April 3rd, 2025 meeting as presented.
Second.
All those in favor of, any comments or questions? Seeing none. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And Councilor Greenwald for a motion.
Thank you. I move to keep the minutes of the non-public meeting previously held, non-public, as divulgence of the information could affect the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
It's roll
Motion
call.
carried. Oh, I'm
It's roll
sorry.
call.
Sealing minutes is the roll call. Sorry.
Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Remy.
Yes.
And Counselor Williams.
Yes.
And Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Madison.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
And Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Chadbourne. Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. And just for public information, usually when we have a non-public session, it's at the end of a meeting. This is a customary thing that we do at the end of a non-public session, is come back into public session, and if the nature of the conversation is confidential, we so act in to seal the minutes until a future date. So, thank you, Counselor, for that. Other announcements for today. We've been talking about the Master Plan Future Summit. I'm sure the counselors know this, but for the public information, the master plan is moving along. After a lot of public interaction, the state of that master plan will be shared on June 3rd, 2025 at 5 p.m. at the Keene Public Library, and the council and public are invited to attend. The schedule for the summer council break is finalized, and want to share that with counselors so that you can make appropriate plans. The council break will be from July 25th to August 21st. That will allow us that continuous period to be on break and to yet meet our charter obligation of a meeting in every month. So July 25th to August 21st. The manager will advise us on any meetings that are needed of council committees leading up to the September 4th council meeting. Okay. Green Up Keene is this weekend. It's Saturday, I'm sorry. It is next weekend, not this weekend. It is April 26th. The people can continue to register. All the routes have been assigned. There will be a drive-through supply pickup at Keene Public Works on Marlborough Street. That pickup can take place on the 26th, anytime between 8 a.m. and noon. So, folks, make your plans, and after you help green up Keene, the Earth Day events are planned for Saturday, April 26th on Railroad Square. The public is invited to participate in that. And then on April 28th, the Public Works Department has organized the planting of 2 trees at 127 Washington Street that'll be done in conjunction with the Franklin Elementary School students at 1 p.m. Just a few things if you care to partake in Earth Day, Earth Month activities in April. At this point, I'd like to ask Hannah Schroeder to come forward and allow me to make a presentation on behalf of the City Council. Thanks, Hannah. I hope folks recognize Hannah. We see her at a lot of meetings and a lot of public events, but she's in more places than we even see. With us tonight are Sean Burke and James Rinker and our Sentinel reporter, Sophia Kashmarin. And thank you for being part of the support team tonight. Hannah, you follow a tradition of outstanding photographers at the Keene Sentinel. We're all very familiar with Steve Hooper and Mike Moore. They did great service for the Sentinel and for all of us in the community for a long period of time. They just didn't get recognized by the City Council. But this tradition of that we're building now to recognize people in our community who have been recognized for their excellence beyond our community. And it's wonderful that the New England Newspaper Association continues on an annual basis to recognize their outstanding reporters in the community, in the reporting community. So it's a pleasure to have you be recognized tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. This proclamation on behalf of the City of Keene, whereas Hannah Schroeder has served the Keene community with distinction as the senior visual journalist at the Keene Sentinel since her arrival on May 3rd of 2021. And whereas Hannah, a graduate of Ohio University with a double major in photojournalism and Spanish, brings a dedicated and educated perspective to her vital work. And whereas through her compelling photographs and videos, Hannah's consistently offered a unique and empathetic viewpoint, enriching the storytelling of the diversity of people and places in the Monadnock region, with a particular focus on historically underserved and marginalized communities. And whereas Hannah's passion for multimedia storytelling allows her to deeply connect with local communities, illuminating their experiences and perspectives on a wide range of topics through a compassion and personal lens. And whereas in recognition of her exceptional talent and dedication, Hannah has received numerous accolades, most recently earning first place in the personality photo category and second place in the portrait photo category at the New England Newspaper and Press Association Awards on March 29th, awarded for her poignant captures of local life, including the wedding of Marilyn and William McLean at Langdon Place. If you recall that photo essay in the Sentinel's front page, that was heartwarming, wasn't it? And a tender moment between an owner and her bovine friend at Granite Oak Farm are the two photo essays that were recognized by the New England Newspaper and Press Association. Now, therefore, it's my pleasure as the mayor of the city of Keene to hereby congratulate Hannah Schroeder for her outstanding achievements and invaluable contributions to visual journalism, enriching our understanding and connections within the Monadnock region. Proudly signed by me in a moment. Congratulations, and the microphone is yours for a moment.
Well, thank you very much to all of my wonderful coworkers and supporters. I work with an incredibly talented staff who's always challenging me and encouraging me to better my work, and everyone that I've met along the way that has made me think deeper about photojournalism and community. So thank you.
Good work.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Sean, good luck keeping all these talented members on your team. Okay, moving along, we have a motion for confirmation of appointments.
So at the previous council meeting, the mayor did nominate a Katie Kinsella to serve on the Conservation Commission, and that would be for a term to expire December 31, 2027.
Counselor
Thank you,
Greenwald
Your
for a
Honor.
motion.
Move to confirm the nomination.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Greenwald and seconded by Counselor Powers. Any comments on Ms. Kinsella? She is an outstanding nominee, and I thank Counselor Madison for recognizing what talent she can bring to the Conservation Commission. Ready for vote? All those in favor?
Roll.
I'm sorry,
Roll.
never mind.
Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Remy.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Madison.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne. Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to section C of our agenda.
We're continuing our efforts to try to compress similar items together to expedite your meetings. And so this evening, in terms of communications, we have three that are license-related. So we have our annual request from the Swamp Bats to discharge fireworks on July 25th. We have what would be our second request for an annual request for the, again, discharge of fireworks. This is in recognition of First Responder Appreciation Community Day. That would be August 24th. And then our third communication is this is also an annual request. It's from the Keene Family YMCA. It's actually a request for a road closure, which does require the council's permission. And it's Summit Road and June 8th of 2025.
And all three of these communications will be referred to the Planning Licenses and Development Committee at their next meeting.
And continuing on, two related communications in terms of the committee assignments. One would be a letter from Anthony Topfer. He's requesting that the downtown infrastructure project include updating the audio and data cables as part of the project. And a second communication is from Ian Matheson, and he's talking about pedestrian safety risks on Court Street and has submitted several photographs that illustrate his concern.
And Those two letters will be referred to the Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee for their May meeting.
And our final communication this evening is a resignation from Jennifer Nascamino, and she has been serving actually on the Human Rights Committee since 2023 and has found it necessary to submit a resignation.
And Counselor Greenwald, recognize you for a
Thank you,
motion.
Your Honor. Move to accept the resignation and express regret.
Second.
All those in favor of accepting Ms. Nascimento's resignation? All those in favor is unanimous. Thank you very much.
And continuing on with reports. First one is from Planning Licenses and Development Committee, and it is on the 4th road race. On a vote of 4-0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends the council grant permission to Pathways for Keene to sponsor a running race on Friday, July 4th, subject to the signing of a revocable license and identification agreement, submittal of a certificate of liability insurance in the amount of $1 million, listing the city of Keene as an additional insured. In addition, the police department shall identify Railroad Street immediately adjacent to Railroad Square as a no parking zone from the hours of 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. This license is conditional upon the petitioners providing an adequate number of volunteer race marshals to ensure runner safety along the course, subject to any recommendations of staff. The petitioner does agree to absorb the cost of any city services over and above any amount of city funding allocated in the FY26 community events budget, and payment shall be made within 30 days of invoice. So our second report, again coming from Planning, License, and Development, is on the Keene Pride Festival. Similar,
We're taking them together.
we're taking them together. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Let Counselor Mosley.
Thank you. My only concern with taking them together is that we had a recusal for one of the items. I don't know if that would make
I think
it
that's a
more
good point, Counselor.
complicated.
I
So
think
if
we
could
should
do
take
them
this
one at a time,
separately.
That would be great.
And our other two seem to be straight votes, so we'll take the other two together.
Yeah, so let's recognize Counselor Mosley for a motion on the Pathways for Keene request. For the four.
Your Honor, I would also just like to point out at PLD, we did grant Counselor Jones a recusal. I don't know if we have to make an acknowledgement of that here.
Definitely.
And Counselor Jones, would you like to state the basis for your recusal?
I have a conflict of interest because I'm on the board of directors of Pathways for Keene.
Any objection of Counselor Jones recusing himself from this conversation? Okay, thank you. Counselor Mosley for a motion.
I move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Mosley and seconded by, who? Counselor Madison, thank you. Counselor Mosley for the committee.
Thank you again. So very simply, this is actually, I do want to brag a little bit for Pathways. This is the 23rd year of this race, which is kind of incredible. And it's going to be held on July 4th. The race time will start at 7:30 a.m. And we did ask Counselor Jones a couple of specifics from being on the board that evening. We found out that this race raises about $45,000 that, and these funds are donated back to the city to work in conjunction with our pathway projects. So this is really impressive that this nonprofit is able to do this, and that these funds come back into the city, and the committee fully supported this.
Thank you. Any further comments? Counselor Madison.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to reiterate a statement I made during the PLD meeting where I pledged to actually run in this race. I am going to do that. I'm sure I will regret it. Well, not for donating. But keep an eye out for me, kind of at the bottom of the standings in the race. And I welcome you all to try to join me. And you'll probably all beat me.
I'll be near you and
In spirit.
carrying you across. And vice versa, please. Seeing no further comments, all those in favor of the motion as presented? Thank you very much. Unanimous vote.
Then
With one recusal.
Carrying forward on our committee reports, we will take these next two together. We have the Keene Pride Festival, their annual request to use city property, and we'll follow with a permission to serve alcohol at Otto's Food and Drink. So starting with Keene Pride. On a vote of 5-0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends granting Keene Pride permission to use downtown city rights-of-way on Sunday, September 21, for a Pride Festival, subject to the following: submission of a certificate of liability insurance in the amount of $1 million, naming the city of Keene as an additional insured, execution of a standard revocable license and identification agreement, agreement by the petitioner to cover any city service costs exceeding the allocated city funding, with payment due within 30 days of invoicing. Licensee is permitted to place 12 portable toilets and 1 dumpster in city parking spaces located at the following locations: the base of Washington Street, Railroad Street, Roxbury Plaza, from Friday, September 19th to Monday, September 22nd. The portable toilets will be chained together and affixed to ensure that they're not vandalized while unattended overnight. Submission of signed letters of permission from private property owners for any use of their property. Compliance with all required permits, licenses, applicable laws, any recommendations from staff. The event footprint and layout shall include the travel portions of Central Square, Washington Street from Vernon Street to Central Square, Court Street from Winter Street to Central Square, Roxbury Street from Roxbury Plaza, easterly side of Hannah Grimes parking lot to Central Square, West Street from Federal Street to Central Square, Main Street northbound from Emerald Street to Eagle Court to Central Square, Railroad Square, Railroad Street from Roxbury Plaza to Church Street. Road closures may also extend to other streets as necessary for detour routes, with final closure and detour plans determined in coordination with staff. The event will take place 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. with setup and cleanup times to be coordinated with staff. Free parking is granted under the city's free parking policy for designated spaces on Washington Street and Roxbury Plaza, for equipment storage from September 22, as well as for the event footprint on the day of the festival. And following is our second PLD report. On a vote of 5-0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends that Otto Food and Drink be granted permission to serve alcoholic beverages in connection with their sidewalk cafe license, subject to the customary licensing requirements of the council, compliance with any recommendations of section 461191 through 461196 of the code, and compliance with any requirements of the New Hampshire Liquor Commission. This license will expire on March 1, 2026.
Thank you. And Counselor Bosley for a motion.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee reports.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Bosley and seconded by Counselor Jones. Counselor Bosley.
So briefly, the Pride Festival is growing in size. They are growing their footprint a little bit to accommodate additional vendors, and they were asking to have the event last for an additional hour, so it will be going until 7 p.m. this year instead of 6 p.m., and the date for that would be September 21st. And the Otto Restaurant came to us looking for permission to serve alcohol on their sidewalk cafe. This is a cafe that has been in existence. There's been a change of ownership of the location. The committee was in favor of seeing both of these things happen.
Thank you, Counselor. Any comments from committee members? We'll go to the vote. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Continuing on, again, a PLD report on the policy on the discharge of fireworks. On a vote of 5-0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends the city attorney draft an ordinance on fireworks that would incorporate the PLD committee's recommendations.
And recognize Counselor Bosley for the committee.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Jones. Counselor Bosley.
So this is an ongoing discussion that PLD has been having about our fireworks ordinance. And there have been some updates in the state's interpretation of commercial fireworks, and they do require that the commercial fireworks, even if they're residential or Class B, that and they're being discharged on a property that is not by the owner, that they do require permits. So we've cleared up a lot of the confusion about who can and cannot have fireworks and how the permits would be distributed. What the committee did strive to accomplish is to put a limitation on the number of events that can happen at a single location. And we asked the city attorney to draft language that would limit the city to 5 commercial fireworks displays per year and 3 of them being located at a single location. And so we're hoping that you guys will support that language and that we can get an ordinance for first reading before us.
Okay. Any questions? Counselor Williams?
Yeah, just to say, I'm grateful to city staff and to the committee for bringing this far. You've heard me talk about my concerns with fireworks on a number of occasions, so I'm not going to belabor that point, but I am going to say that this gives us an opportunity to build our policy and to decide, well, what are we going to do if there's going to be 4 fireworks events scheduled at one place, which there was last year. So this puts a cap on any single location, which I think is a good idea. We can haggle over the details. We've gotten a long way such far, and I appreciate everyone's work on this.
Hey, Counselor Haas?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Just to add on to Councilor Williams' comments, we're committed to finding a fair way of allocating the licenses. So there's a reasonable way to give everybody a chance who would like to have one.
Thank you. Thank you. And Counselor Bosley, the next possible opportunity for this would be at the May meeting of PLD? Or are you anticipating a little longer?
It would depend on how quickly the city attorney could turn around language, but it would come before the council for first reading, and then it would have to go back to PLD, so either the May or June.
It's probably June.
Probably June.
Yeah, I just wanted to give the public a little heads up that don't expect this to come before the PLD committee too quickly, if that's the case. So thanks for clarifying on it. Any further, Councilor Remy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say I'm not going to support it, partly because of like the last piece of we need a fair way to allocate them, because a smart person would go in and apply for all 5 licenses at the beginning of the year and then sell them to the organizations that wanted to do them. So until we figure that out, I don't want to support changing it to put a limit on it. I get that we could figure it all out through that, but I think we need to have a better direction on how we're going to do that. I don't like the idea of putting a limit there.
Just gave somebody an idea.
I know.
Yes,
I was thinking about it myself.
But certainly teed up a
I got 2.
question
I got
that
2.
the attorney, I'm sure, will address on the way into the committee. Yeah. Yeah, Councilor Bosley?
Yes, so just to be clear, that was not discussed. And there are basically 2 paths that could be taken. One is to determine a date that all permit requests are required to be before the city council, so that the planning licenses and development committee can review them and assign them in a way that seems fair to not all one particular person, because we do see continued requests for fireworks displays by one individual organization primarily, with a preference given to the 4th of July. The second would be to allow the landowner to make that decision. And that's probably the more fair way of doing it, is for the individuals requesting permits to go to the landowner themselves, and the landowner has to give permission for the person to hold the event and to host fireworks. And if they're aware of what the limitation is, they will be the ones deciding what 3 organizations they'll be supporting for their permits to come to council.
Councilor Remy?
I still have the same problem, because at the end of the day, they could say, okay, for 10 grand, you can have it here. I'm going to auction off those 3 spots on my land.
And they should,
So I don't, yeah,
if that's fair.
Okay, we won't debate this one tonight, but clearly there are mischievous thoughts that people could bring to the committee at the appropriate time. Councilor Jones?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just as an added protection, these permits still have to come before the city council for each fireworks display. So there is an added protection.
As there has been in the past. Okay, seeing no further comments, all those in favor of directing the attorney to prepare a draft ordinance for consideration by PLD, all those in favor? Motion carries with one, any of you opposed? With one opposite, opposed. So 12 to 1 vote. Thank you. Okay,
And continuing on, Planning License and Development Committee, this is the withdrawal of a staff-initiated ordinance on behalf of my office as well as the Public Works Department, and it is on Ordinance 2024-18 relating to licenses and permits for sidewalk cafes and sidewalk obstruction permits.
okay, and we will recognize, I'm
accepted
sorry,
it as
this has been withdrawn, still takes a
We
no vote.
accepted it as
We'll
informational.
accept this as informational, thank you very much. Okay, moving on
Continuing on,
to.
we're on Finance
Finance.
Organization.
Not unless there's an
Then-
objection.
There's chatter down there.
Sorry, are we good?
For items that go from council to committee, and I'm happy to do whatever the council wants, but just flagging this, for something to go to committee where 5 councilors accept as informational, the procedure would be that full council should at least, act on that as well, because it started with the full council, and there's only 5 councilors at a committee. You see what I'm saying?
Counselor Mosley for a motion.
I'm not ready to make motion. I'm just disagreeing with the city attorney. We have had this process. We've discussed our rules of order at length. We've talked about consensus votes. Accepting something as informational happens at council all the time. When things come out of committee, the mayor accepts them as informational. Unless there's an objection, we move forward. So would be what I would suspect would happen with this item.
I think the way that would be working or has worked is that also the action at council level is accepting as informational by consensus, so there is still a council action.
So the mayor would acknowledge that.
But is that your understanding as well?
Well, let's see if the council wishes to reaffirm that understanding.
Could I
Yes,
offer
please,
something?
yeah, please do.
Perhaps the distinction is this is an ordinance, and there is a section of our rules of order that says you can't act on an ordinance through a committee report. So technically, I'd love to see this in the index of ordinances say withdrawn, not file as informational, but a more affirmative withdrawn. So perhaps if someone would be so kind just to accept the withdrawal as opposed to file as informational. I think that would be clearer for the record as to what's happening with an ordinance.
Would you like the mayor to accept that, or do you want to
You
close out the council?
can't accept it. We need a motion to accept
Okay,
it.
so you
Your
want a
Honor, I'll make a
motion.
motion
Okay.
to withdraw the ordinance on behalf of the clerk's office.
Thank you
Second.
so much.
And seconded by Counselor Jones. Okay, all those in favor of withdrawing this motion? Okay,
Thank you.
we have unanimous vote.
And continuing on, Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relative to the acceptance of the 2025 Wellness Grant. On a vote of 4-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to accept the 2025 Wellness Grant from the Health Trust of up to $2,500 to be used for employee wellness activities.
Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
And seconded by Counselor Remy. Counselor Powers for the committee.
I'm getting a hint that brevity is the way to go.
Yeah.
Health Trust every year offers some programs to the city, and this one is the wellness activities are going to be paid for with their grant of $2,500. The coordination and the actions are done by city staff, pulls together things that will benefit employees in the arena of wellness. And you'll note that as we go through ours, we have 4-0 votes, and then we go to 5-1 because we had some scheduling errors. 4 approved this, so it's unanimous at the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any questions on accepting this grant? Seeing none, all those in favor, show of hands. Thank you very much.
The second Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report, this one dealing with life insurance and long-term disability insurance. On a vote of 4-0, the Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee recommends the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to execute a new multi-year contract renewing coverage with Symetra to administer the city's life and long-term disability insurance program.
And Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
So this was action taken when we put out 2 bids to try to renew the insurance coverage. 2 bids, city staff decided to stick with Symetra. It's a 2-year agreement, and it gives us some stability in the budget planning for the next 2 cycles. And it's for the city's life insurance and long-term disability insurance program. It covers employees, all the employees not retired. I asked the question, and I didn't think well until afterwards that if you're not here, we're not going to cover you. So, again, 4-0, unanimous vote. Ask you to do the same.
Any further comments from the committee? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor of this contract? Thank you very much. Motion carries unanimously.
Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report relative to the acceptance of a local source water protection grant. On a vote of 5-0, the Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee recommends the manager be authorized to do all things necessary to accept, execute, and expend a local source water protection grant from the New Hampshire DES in the amount of $12,800.
Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Remy. Counselor Powers.
This is a grant in the amount of $12,800. It's from the Department of Environmental Services, and it will give us an opportunity to serve our 2 sites. We have 3 wells drawing water from the ground, West Street and Court Street. All the equipment is up to speed. We've done a lot of renovations, but now it's time to survey the area and figure out if we're properly protecting that aquifer area. So they want to look at about a 400-foot sanitary area around each. It's our own property, but we're still not sure what influences or confluences could happen to that area. So this study will give us a recommendation, and I'm sure we'll hear in the future of another program, and hopefully paid for by someone else, to build some safety. Basically, I think we'll see chain link fences around those 2 pieces of property. Unanimously approved 5-0 by the committee. Ask you to do the same. Thank you.
Questions, comments from counselors? Counselor Madison.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am employed by the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, and even though I do not have anything to do with this specific grant program, I actually used to run it a couple years ago, but I would ask to be recused from this vote due to the potential conflict of interest.
Thank you for making that comment and calling your conflict to our attention. Any objection with Counselor Madison recusing himself on this motion? I'm sorry. Yes, Counselor.
The council stated he no longer worked in the position that would have an effect on this one. So I think he's well qualified to be able to vote without prejudice.
Okay. We clearly face this with others that find themselves closely associated, but not necessarily in the direct approval line. Other counselors wish to opine? Yep. Counselor Favelis, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question here about the process. I'm not sure we've yet, I have not yet experienced a case where there was an objection raised to a unanimous consent to recuse. So does there need to be an additional motion?
Actually not even needing a motion, but we would vote if there's disagreement about accepting the counselor's recusal. We would vote to determine a majority on this. So, anybody else wish to state an opinion? Counselor Greenwald?
Call the vote.
okay? A show of hands and keep them in the air for a moment. All those in favor of accepting Counselor Madison's recusal? Okay, that's 10,
By your friends.
I think 11 votes for, and 6, it's 10, right, because you're not voting on this. That's an interesting one. It will be
Yeah,
insignificant in a moment. All those opposed to accepting his recusal? 2 votes. So it's at least 10-2. And do we?
You do count the
we count,
Councilor Madison's vote, yes.
Counselor Madison's vote. Well, I think, go ahead. I think you voted in the affirmative on that. Okay, so it is 11-2. So Counselor Madison is recused from this vote. If there are no further questions on this item, item D8, we'll go to a vote. Just a hand vote. All those in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you. With 1 recusal. Thank you. Okay, managers report.
Just a few items for you this evening. We are now accepting nominations for locations to plant new street trees in the city. Street trees now. So to nominate a location, please visit cclickfix.com/Keene. So we're really trying to get people to use ClickFix. And start a new request, enter the address or specific location where you would like to see a tree planted, and then be sure to select request a new tree from the category list. Ideal locations, now they can't go everywhere. So we're looking for a grass belt of at least 5 feet wide, no overhead utility wires, and full sun exposure for most of the day. And make sure that the placement would not obstruct traffic visibility. Tonight, I would also like to take a moment to recognize Deputy City Manager Andy Bohannon and County HR Director Kim May, who collaborated with Primex to bring leadership training to our region. Yesterday, approximately 120 attendees from the city, county, and school district participated in a half-day training session held at the Colonial Showroom. It was a tremendous success, and I'm grateful for their efforts in securing this valuable and free training opportunity for our teams. Typically, we have to go to Concord for this type of training, and it's very difficult to get an afternoon or a day to go back and forth to Concord. And so bringing the training here was excellent. We had lots of people participate that might not otherwise participate. And so I think it was a great success, and we're hoping to continue with that program in the future. And yesterday, you should have received a joint press release from the city and the county in your email inbox. The statement addresses and corrects several inaccuracies that appeared in a recent Sentinel editorial. Both organizations felt it was important to clarify the record for the public, and so we did put that out yesterday. And then also, I wanted to let you know that we have a temporary staffing assignment to Ryan Lawless. He has been assigned additional duties in conducting health inspections, including food service establishments, school daycares, and other public or commercial food handling locations. So Ryan has been with us since 2019 in the Community Development Department. In addition to his housing inspector qualifications, he has also completed food inspection services, including supervised inspections during a training phase that started in 2021, and solely performed over 100 food inspections since that time. Ryan holds a master's degree in public health from Southern New Hampshire University, and he's certainly very qualified to do this work, and we're grateful that he has stepped up to help us during this transition time. And then one last thing, if you didn't see it come out this afternoon, there is a red flag warning from the fire department. Due to dry conditions, fire danger is high, and as a result, all permitted open burning and consumer fireworks discharge in Keene is suspended until further notice. So please check the fire department webpage for further updates. And that's all for me tonight.
Thank you, Manager. Okay, moving along, and we get to take a leap here. Reports?
Want to talk about that? legislative?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. We have, I'd like to recognize Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to suspend Section 26 of the Rules of Order to introduce and act upon the mayor's request for authorization to send a letter to the state senate regarding House Bill 2.
Second.
You gonna-
Moved and seconded on suspending the rules.
he's-
Do we, roll call?
Yes, Counselor Bosley?
Wait.
Yes.
Discuss it?
No, suspending the rules.
First
The
we'll,
suspension.
yeah.
Counselor Bosley?
Yes.
Counselor Tobin?
Yes.
Counselor Remy?
Yes.
Counselor Williams?
Yes.
Counselor Haas?
Yes.
Counselor Jones?
Yes.
Counselor Madison?
Yes.
Counselor Roberts?
Yes.
Counselor Favelis?
Yes.
Counselor Workman?
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Chadbourne? Counselor
Yes.
Powers? Counselor Greenwald?
Yes.
I'd recognize now Counselor Powers for a motion.
Mayor, I move to recommend that in addition to communications on legislative items of concern, the Keene City Council authorizes the mayor and/or the city manager to write letters conveying the city's concern about New Hampshire House past funding cuts to the university system of New Hampshire.
Seconded by Counselor Remy. Are there others in the counselors that need to recuse themselves from this conversation? Counselor Favelis, would you care to state your recusal?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As noted on my interest form, I do have an employment relationship with Keene State College, which is a member of the university system.
Thank you, Counselor. And
Same.
Counselor Counselor Workman, the same. So two counselors, we can take these up simultaneously, I think, for the same reason of having an employment relationship with the college. Any objection to these two counselors recusing themselves from this conversation? Seeing none. Counselor Powers, you care to address this, or?
I will let you all know you have a letter at your table that discusses this very important topic, and I believe the mayor can better speak to the particulars of not having enough money down the street here, so I'll leave it up to him. But this is a very important item. It was brought to our attention, I guess, by one of the other towns that's being affected the same way. So it's incumbent on us to act on this tonight, because we can't wait another week to get it up to the legislature. Thank you.
Pretty well done, Counselor. Some experience there. And yes, we're aware that the town manager in Durham was asked by his town council to draft a letter, which he did. He drafted, submitted, much like what you have before you tonight, a letter asking I believe he sent it to the House, but I think he may have sent it to other locations as well. But asking for a better budget than a 30% reduction to the university system's budget, not knowing exactly how that might be applied. It clearly could have a detrimental effect on access by New Hampshire students and out-of-state students to Keene State College, or affect the cost more directly, and as such, the access to this college. Obviously, that has a downstream effect on the town of Durham and the other towns of the university system, including Keene. So in this regard, I think seeing the impact that there is on the state college located in our community, the impact that this has on the Monadnock region as a whole and the state of New Hampshire, it is important that the letter in front of you is one that reaches the State Senate Finance Committee this coming week, because they are, in fact, beginning hearings with state agencies on Monday on the House-passed budget. Any questions that folks might have on this? You've got the letter in front of you. Counselor Roberts?
I just don't think they realize the risk they put a college like King State, because the state of Massachusetts just said you're going to get 2 years free if you want to go to community college. And so if we cause the tuition, especially for out-of-state students, to go up, if I have a child and I'm in Massachusetts, I'm not going to Keene State when I can go to school for free. Durham is farther up there, but we're really on the border and there are just way too many options. Mount Wachusett is right down the road, and I know people who go down to Mount Wachusett for their nursing program because they can get through the program quicker than they can get through the program up at River Valley. And so we cannot afford to cause the tuition to go up, especially for out-of-state students, based on our location and the competition we have 30 miles down the road.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further comments? To continue the advertisements, and Keene State has the lowest cost of any residential college in the state of New Hampshire, so it is the competitive advantage that one of them that the college has in addition to its programs to attract students to our area. Counselor Tobin.
Thank you. I just wanted to add, working for a manufacturing company, in recent years, we've been recruiting interns from there. And I know that Keene State has really been working on developing their internship programs and building relationships with the community around it. And that's become kind of an important part of who they are, which really makes it more feasible for those students to stay in the area, which we really need to share that institutional knowledge. So I do think that we're sort of at this point where that's really needed to continue. So.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no further comments, all those in favor of this letter being sent? Motion is carrying 11 positive votes and 2 recusals.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
We have one more item this evening, and it is Counselor Jones's communication relative to a declaration of inclusion to honor the LGBTQIA+ community.
So more time will be granted, and will continue to be heard by Planning Licenses and Development Committee.
And we have 2 resolutions this evening. So, starting off with Planning Licenses and Development Committee, they received Resolution R 2025-09 and relative to adopting the provisions of RSA 79E on community revitalization tax relief incentive. They are recommending its adoption.
And Counselor Powers.
PLD.
This is PLD. Counselor Bosley for a motion.
It would be on the adoption of the resolution.
Yes.
Move to adopt Resolution R-2025-09.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Jones. Counselor Bosley.
So I'm actually going to steal some of the mayor's comments tonight. There's a color rendition of a 79E map that has been placed on all of your desks. I just want to point that out because there was a little bit of confusion at PLD about what we were trying to do with 79E. And this is not meant to confuse you at all. This is a great map. I have a personal copy of our zoning map in my office. And I just spent too much time thinking about zoning for the city. But I want to point out that 79E is a really great asset to our community, and it is going to have a complete rework. We do have some grant funds available to us to institute some additional components of 79E that will be really great for our community, and those are coming, but that is not what we're here for tonight. When we started looking at this, we realized that we were operating with our old zoning map, and so this is just to adopt this new map into the current 79E ordinance. Oh, and we were all in unanimous support of that.
Any questions from counselors? Counselor Jones, comment?
Thank you, and I'm so glad staff brought this forward. This is a tool in our toolbox which we weren't referring to enough, especially with the development community. I think the 79E, we need to start promoting that, as well as the ERZ, which can help us with future development, and this is a good start, so thank you.
At the risk of putting anybody on the spot, but if anybody want to just, real quick, say the advantages that come from 79E?
City
Manager.
manager? Yeah, I could try. I don't know if I do.
So by identifying a district, if applications come forward for potential improvements to a project, what 79E allows you to do if they meet, and there are several criteria that they need to meet, if they meet that criteria, they have the opportunity to request that the additional assessed value from their improvements not be taxed for a period I cannot speak tonight, I don't know what it is, for a period of up to 5 years. And so it's been a really helpful tool to basically keep the property value the same after the improvement is in place and allow the property owner to recoup some of those expenses by delaying the increased tax up to 5 years. And so it's a helpful tool. And in the end, it's a wonderful tool for the community because we have a property that has been improved, and at the end of the 5 years, we are seeing the full value.
Counselor Bosley and then Counselor Haas.
And I would just like to point out that that tool right now is really relegated to our downtown and for urban redevelopment, but some of the changes that we will see, hopefully getting proposed, will be to allow homeowners to be able to use this tool residentially, which would be a really great asset to trying to rebuild some of our neighborhoods.
Counselor Haas.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yay, Verily. And this is just to change the map and make the correction, but I think we look forward to expanding this as much as we can in the future.
Okay. Any further? All in favor of, we need a roll call? No?
No?
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. The next one.
And Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report relative to the appropriation of funds from the general fund unassigned fund balance for fire department staffing. This is coming from Finance, Organization, and Personnel, and they are recommending the adoption. And we have Resolution R 2025-11, a resolution for fire department staffing relating to the appropriation of funds from the general fund unassigned fund balance.
And recognize Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move for the adoption of Resolution 2025-11.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Remy. Counselor Powers.
You know, 2 weeks ago at this meeting, somehow I wound up on Channel 9 News, so I've got to make sure I don't make any mistakes. I don't think I did.
Straighten your tie.
I wore this tie for a certain person that's wearing green tonight, so. yeah.
You trying to coordinate
All
with
right,
me?
this topic has come to us several times. This is the last part of some action over the last couple of months that have been put together by the city manager and the fire department to increase the staffing that's available so that the fire department will have enough people on each shift every day to be able to staff 3 ambulances. Based on the number of calls, the back-to-back calls, the calls all at the same time, this is the best way to do it. It was unanimously passed by the Finance Committee. Our other parts of this program improvement last time at the City Council were unanimously approved, and I hope you do the same tonight. Thank you.
Any comments from the counselors? Seeing none, this being an appropriation, we'll take a roll call.
It is true. Counselor Bosley.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Remy.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Madison.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Chadwick. Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
And the motion carries unanimously. Come to a bittersweet moment. Tonight is the last council meeting for our city clerk, who has attended these council meetings for the last 44 years of her 46 years with the city. Well, maybe there was an extra meeting in there before 44 years ago. I want to embarrass you for a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
I'm not the last in line, but I might be. But I'll start it off. When I think of the kinds of characteristics that we need to lead our city, the first is we need knowledgeable and experienced people. And you've got tons of experience, but the knowledge that you carry around records and records retention, around right-to-know laws, around elections, and around council rules, you really keep us as a council well-informed, on the tracks, and this is going to be a hard act to follow, folks, who will, but they will follow, and because they have followed in your footsteps, they are the better and more capable for it.
That they are.
There's a notion in leadership and in management, but in leadership, of leading from behind. And the notion that you don't have to be the city manager to be a leader in the city. And you have been a very visible and dominating leader in the city. You've never been able you've always been able to convey to us your opinions, and to lead from behind, to be the person who helps us all do our jobs better because of what you know and your willingness to share and your courage to step up and do that. You also have an amazing character. Not just your humor and your ability to smile and laugh at things, but the character of honesty and integrity that we all see in you and we all appreciate. Your steadfast character. It's just, it's very important to our work and to your work. But I'll step out of the lanes of those traditional kinds of leadership roles and say that one of the things that you, I attribute to you is the ability for accountability. Your desire to be a more accountable organization. And you have guided us in our responsibilities for transparency, and I think that is a strength that I really appreciate in you, is how the accountability that you've held to yourself and that you've held for this organization. So 44 years as the city clerk, it's a long time, and I just am so grateful for having been able to spend a year and a half with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay.
And there's more. I'd like to recognize the city clerk's staff and ask if you've got some words or other inspirations. Oh, I think,
There's tissue everywhere, ladies. Thank you. Oh, that's very sweet. I love the colors. Oh my gosh.
Aren't they beautiful? They're your
And
colors.
they match my green.
too.
Look at that. I'm always trying to be color coordinated. It's very sweet of
Beautiful.
you. Very sweet of you.
Well, you know how much you mean to us. We love you so much. We really wish you could just stay.
I don't want to.
I know, but I know, and we're releasing you because we care that much about you.
Thank you.
But it is sad for us. We're very heartbroken to lose you. You're such a wonderful leader, caring and just supportive, and I don't know how we're going to do this without you, but we will do it. We will do our best to make you proud. We will call you if we have questions. And we thank you for many years of wonderful support.
Well,
Does
you
anyone
know,
else wanna say?
I am oddly at peace, and that's from these ladies. Have been encouraging me to accept this with grace.
We love you, Patty.
So I am happy to retire, I'll tell you. Happy to retire. Want to thank the council, this council, all the councils that have preceded you, all the mayors, the managers. The support from my office has been just constant. I have never had a disappointment from your actions when it comes to our team. I'm very happy about that. But I really want to retire. I really do. All of a sudden, it's occurred to me, why, there's so much I haven't done, because this has always been my priority. So I'm going to go do things that bring joy to Patty Little. And that is the mantra from this point forward. So with that, thank you so much. Okay. Good to hear. Good to hear. Thank you, thank you.
yeah, yes.
There's
we're-
more?
I need
Okay.
to
Okay.
recognize Counselor Powers.
Okay. What's up with your tie, buddy?
Do you know why she's so forceful? She's the daughter of a Marine,
Yes, that's true.
so that answers everything.
Yeah. Oh, a lamb.
I've spent a couple of days trying to figure out which stories I'm gonna tell, or what information people need to know about you. We've changed our plans a couple times, so you're gonna get it in pieces. And, you know, she has said, I'm gonna retire, but she keeps showing up. Did you notice that retired city manager Pat McQueen was here tonight to make sure you are retiring? Because you keep telling him that.
No.
Yes, he came, but.
And he left?
Had to leave, but he'll be back, because she now joins the 4 o'clock club. So on the last Tuesdays of every month at 4 o'clock, all the retired department heads in the city get together and we talk about old times. Not us, old people, but we talk about old times. Patty's gonna bring a lot of stories. There's just so many stories. I'm gonna take it easy, but, you know, she's the daughter of a Marine. Her mother was a lifelong federal employee in the military, so we know where she got all of that. But she came from the South. She's a Southern girl.
Yep.
When I first met her, I hadn't even started in my job here. The city manager introduced me to her, Pat McQueen, and said, you better keep an eye on her. Well, he was right, because she keeps pushing. She was in my office frequently looking for more floor space for her office.
She won.
Yeah, we just moved, we moved right out. No, she got 3 feet for the first move added to her office. But the real reason she needed more space is every morning at about 6 a.m., the little crew came from Marlow. Jesse and Ben had to pass a little time before they went to school at St. Joe's. So their beds were underneath that table. They had their whole little house set up underneath there. Kept an eye on Mom, made sure she was doing her thing, and off to school. And that's how she started her day,
Yeah,
almost every day at 6 a.m.,
yeah.
including her last step for you, me included, Saturday morning, the last email she was going to send out by telephones, 6:59 on a Saturday morning. She's still doing it. But she did last week. She came in late one day, 9 o'clock instead of what she adopted. So she migrated from the south. In that western area for a while, I never could quite understand it, but as you begin to see her when she's retired, she'll tell you the stories about, and one story, it's been verified because somebody's seen it in a picture, but wearing a toga in the city clerk's office? Yeah, she's got to think about that. So,
You know, because you were there.
no, I was not. No, I was not. No, she has been here for 46 years. That's a long time. But because she was so successful because of the way she approached it, and her bottom line was to serve the city council. And she marched to a beat that said, we've got to do it for the city council because that's the support, and we've got to do it right. And we've all seen it change. I mean, I've known her for 37 years, and it's pretty much gone from just scribing most of it to all automation. So very, very successful. And she's lost that southern.
Until I go south,
Yeah,
and it comes right back.
But what she's really become is a New Hampshire person. Antiques, old cars, everything you can think of. But most recently, something she's begun to enjoy very much, her pickup truck was taken away from her. She has to have a car because she needs space for the car seats. Because as a grandma, she's getting the calls already, and she's looking forward to getting the calls. But the part that I still cannot understand is that southern to the west to here, where the cow came into this whole thing.
My husband worked at Stonewall Farms as a teenager. That's where the love of cows came. I do not love them, but he does.
Well, then maybe our selection was a little off, because I thought that she probably won't do it at 6 o'clock, but every morning when she gets up and to milk that cow, when she comes back in, she's going to have the list. There's no question she will have a list of what she wants to do, her chores, her things. You're going to need to see it by some light. So
I
what we
love
have
lambs.
here,
Did you know that?
huh?
My house is full of lambs.
Well,
Yeah.
you got some more. You got your history.
Well, let's see. Secretary? Yes, yes. True, it's all true.
You got it right. A little bit on the front.
Very nice.
So
Thank you so
I
much.
want you, this whole group, I want you to enjoy it.
Thank you. If I had an office, I'd put it in, but I don't want an office. It'll just go in my living room, but thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Somewhere hiding in here, I gotta tell you a story. Quick one. All right, I see the clock. Quick story. Governor Sununu was coming to town. I got tipped off to it, and I called his office. I said, after the bridge opening, I think you ought to come over to City Hall and thank the city clerk and her staff for their outstanding work in the November elections. We were one of the first towns to report, cities and any community of 234, to report its results early on election night in November. And Patty started chatting with the governor, held him there for about 15 minutes at least, and found out that the governor has hiding in his desk drawer a bunch of license plates that as he was leaving office in the month of December, he was offering to distinguished people around the state, and Patty said, I would love to have a governor's license plate. Sure enough, a week later, arriving at the clerk's office was something from Governor Sununu.
Two plates.
Uh-oh.
2 plates. His front and his rear plates are different.
Oh!
Yep.
She politely said to me, but you know, I've never gotten a state senate plate.
You remembered that.
Yeah, it stuck with me. And I said, I can't find them. I don't know what I did with them. They're somewhere in the basement. Well, I went looking for them, and they are the same, so there's only one.
Okay,
But
and I'm
I
thrilled.
wanted to add to your collection, Senate District 10.
Yes!
Yes.
I am, with my husband, license plate collectors. We're in an international club of license plate collectors. I only have about 10,000 license plates.
It's going on a
It's
shelf.
a small collection. It's a small collection. But this is actually, I've had Junie Blaisdell's license plates, so I have had one from him.
From
Yes,
Senate
but not
District
from
10?
you,
No.
and that meant a lot, and so thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, uh-oh. Remember, she wants to see this. All right. If there's,
Very nice. Thank you, everybody.
if there's no further business to come before the city council tonight, two things. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday this weekend, whether it's the Easter holiday or the Passover holiday. May you all have a good holiday weekend. Thank you very much. And with that, we're adjourned for the